Let me tell you a story what I remember of you and your two brothers from Birkenau. In 1942, it was Yom Kippur Eve. I want to tell you that in Birkenau, a little bit of food, a little bit of moisture, liquid, fluid, was so scarce that if somebody saw a potato peel in the mud, 50 guys would jump and try to kill each other to get that little food. It's hard to explain or to even make you believe for American people who grow up here, but there's food to, if I may say, to throw away. I mean, there's tons of food. You go to any party, you see, I don't have to tell you what's going on with food. That there were actually people so hungry at one time that one would try to kill the other guy for a crumb. So this guy tells me on Kippur Eve, they're lined up to receive the soup. They used to give, they had these barrels, open barrels, wooden barrels. And they used to give us in a plate, it wasn't a plate, in a little container. They used to give us the soup. I mean, that was supposed to be supper, okay? So you had there mostly water. We were dying for a little drink. We were completely dehydrated. There was no liquid to be had, period, unless it rained. Then you lie down on the ground, and from the mud you would sip the water. And as we are lined up to receive the soup, this man, this Eugene Zinn, tells me that my brothers and myself said to the guy who is dishing out the soup, "We're not eating. Tonight is Yom Kippur." When he told me this, I couldn't even believe it. Because if I remember back, the hunger that we had, that a little sliver of bread as big as my nail was gold, that we would say on Yom Kippur Eve that we're not going to eat because today's a fast day, I had hard to believe it, but he tells me that story. My two brothers were also religious at home, of course. So a few guys...
Did they survive? Did they survive?
Yes.
Your brother survived also?
Yeah, one of them is already dead. I have still one brother living, yeah. Then a few other guys saw the Mittelmans are not eating. Little by little they joined us. Not too many, but he says about 15 guys said they're also not eating. It's Yom Kippur, they're not going to eat. So a German came by and he said, "You guys are not eating because it's Yom Kippur? Get into the block inside and pray." Now, I'm repeating to you what he tells me after 63 years. If we go in the block, and he said he was one of them, one of the three brothers, he doesn't remember which one, sang Kol Nidre by heart. Now, I used to sing in a choir when I was a kid. My assumption is that either my oldest brother or myself was the one who did that. And after that, one of us made the whole crowd repeat the Aleph base, the alphabet, because we had no books. And after that was completed, one of the three brothers, still he says, I don't remember which one of you, said, "Now we're going to take this alphabet, the Aleph base, send it to God, and let Him make up the prayers for Yom Kippur." When he told me that, a cold shiver ran down my back. That was in the evening one day. Next day I came to the synagogue and I told the crowd that usually comes every day there. The story, I mean, it was just unbelievable. Even up until today I'm shaking. How much sacrifice does it take of a human being to be into the most cruelest condition, to say in a Yom Kippur Eve, "I'm not going to eat the soup because today is Yom Kippur." Anyway, okay, sidetrack. We were detailed to different kind of work there. And by the way, by the time I arrived there, within 2 days I met my two brothers. My two brothers were taken away from home before me, Yet they did not go to Majdanek, they came straight to Auschwitz. So of course, as we met, you can imagine how happy we were to see each other. And we tried to be together. But we could not get to the same job so simply. So one day they were announcing in the block that they have a special job for people who would like to get better food than the rest of the people can do. In other words, we will be assigned better rations or larger or more if we go to this job. If we didn't have the slightest idea what it is, the job was called Sonderkommando, which is special detail in German. So now let me explain you what Sonderkommando meant in Birkenau. At that time, people were coming every day, trains were coming in, men, women, children, babies, and everything. What they do with them, they did not have a crematoria at that time. It was not built up. So they used to gas the people. All women that had children, little babies, they were gassed immediately. Elderly people. Was Mengel's job. When he used to send to the selections, he just stood there with the finger and he pointed right or left, right or left. And the ones who were all detailed, the older people and the women and the children, they were straight taken to a place where there was a big shower, making the people believe they're getting a shower now. And I'm sure you read about it. I mean, they went inside. Some SS guy went up on the roof, and there was an opening, and threw in a can of Cyclone B, and within 5 minutes the people were all dead. So they had 3 different Sonderkommandos. And these Sonderkommando people, I mean, I know that now, I didn't know it at that time. The first Sonderkommando were the ones who took these people, brought them to that big shower, made them all undress, and try to cajole them to go in because all they're going to get is a shower now. And when they were dead, they took them on little lorries. They had this little miniature trains, like, I think, what's it called, a lorry in English?
A lorry.
Huh?
Could have been a lorry.
Yeah, a lorry.
Is
A little small, like a miniature train. It was going also there, the Sonderkommando number 1 loaded all these corpses up, and they were bringing them out to the field where there was a grave dug. Okay? So when they detailed me to this Sonderkommando by promising that I will have a little more food, our job was to dig graves, tremendously big graves. Except none of us knew why we were digging a grave.
You didn't
Because
know
they tried-
you were digging a grave. You didn't know.
I mean, we were digging big holes, which today I know there were graves. I found that out later too. But they were so humongously big because they had to bury all these people. So they have these 3 Sonderkommandos. One of them brought the people to the place there. The other ones who used to take them and throw the corpses into the big graves and cover it up a little bit. And then was Sonderkommando 3 was us, who used to dig these graves, and when it was finally a little bit covered, we had to finish the covering. Now, we were only there a few weeks, and I can tell you right now that none of us who dug these holes had a slightest idea what we're doing. Every day I came back to the camp, I met my 2 brothers. He says, Meilach, what kind of a work are you doing? I said, I don't know. We all have shovels, and we dig, we make a big pit. What are the pit for? I have no idea. And nobody else knew either. And the reason why we didn't know is because